Assalamu alaikum. The question is, how could a Muslim or a Latino vote for a party that hates immigrants? Why would they want to be associated with a party that wants to deport their family and friends? And I'm assuming the question is talking about the recent U.S. presidential elections where Donald Trump defeated Kamala Harris, and a lot of Muslims were basically kingmakers in that situation. They helped bring Trump into power. So we got to break this down into a couple parts here. First, is it even Islamically allowed to vote? There's two opinions on the matter. One is that it's completely haram to vote in any democratic election because we don't believe in democracy. We believe it's a satanic system filled with corruption. Like the courts, they take years and years to get justice done. You have to pay a lot of money. They're easily infiltrated, as we saw the Zionists have infiltrated a lot of these democracies and are using them against the interests of their own people, for example. And so many other things. We can do a whole video about why democracy is not a good system. But basically, a Muslim voting in such a system means they're participating in it and that they are supporting it, instead of an Islamic system, which is Sharia law, right? Which is the only system Muslims support and believe in. Of course, we're allowed, if we live in non-Muslim countries, we're not imposing Sharia law on them. We tolerate the democracy there and whatnot and respect the laws there. That's not what I'm talking about. But when it comes to voting, we have the decision to vote or not vote. That opinion is haram completely. The second opinion, the one I believe in, is that it is permissible to vote in these democratic elections if one of the candidates is clearly better for the Muslims as a whole, meaning all around the world, not just in that country, than the other candidate. For example, if one candidate is extremely hostile to Muslims, wants to ban Islam and close down mosques, and the other one's saying, no, we're not going to do that. And let's say they want to have more benefits for, the Muslims, they want to get more legal immigration, whatever, in that case, that candidate would be better, than the other one. Let's say the other he wants to cut immigration from Muslim countries completely to reduce the number of Muslims in the country, whereas the other one says, yeah, let's bring more Muslims in. We would vote for the other one, and just going off that. So let's use, in that case, the Muslim can vote for the better candidate, right? Because one is clearly better for the Muslims as a whole than the other. So now we can go ahead and answer this question off the premises that the second opinion applies. He's asking, how could a Muslim vote for basically the Republican Party, Donald Trump? And it's very simple. A lot of Muslims voted for Donald Trump because they had the Palestinian genocide at the forefront as a primary concern. Under Biden and Kamala, the Palestinians have been getting massacred, the civilians, women, children, etc. We saw all the videos, right? Not only that, but under Biden, a lot of wars in Muslim countries escalated, like in Syria, in Somalia, Yemen, Iraq, even in Afghanistan towards the end. Biden delayed the withdrawal and wanted to continue the occupation longer. Whereas Donald Trump, when he last was in office, he signed an order to withdraw American troops from these countries, Syria, Somalia, Iraq, etc., and bring the troops home. And Biden reversed that decision when he came into power. And during the campaign, Trump said he wants to withdraw troops again from Syria and all these forever wars and conflicts. So the Democratic Party, which used to be known as the non-warmongering party, became the more warmongering party. Their foreign policy was not better for the Muslims than the Republicans. Just going off that issue. The second, and of course, Donald Trump is a Zionist, but he's not a war hawk. And, if both candidates are Zionists, we have to choose the one that is better for the Muslims as a whole, as I mentioned. And that's just one thing to look at. The second thing is that with regards to the other part of the question where the questioner is saying that where the questioner is asking or saying that, that he's going to deport our families and whatnot. Well, under Islam, we're not allowed to migrate to non-Muslim lands in the first place unless there's an Islamic reason for it, such as to spread Islam. If the intention is to go there and spread Islam or to spy on the enemy if we're in conflict with them, under those cases it's permissible. But and this is what usually is the case, Muslims are migrating to non-Muslim lands for financial benefits, that's totally haram. There's a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever chooses to settle among the non-Muslims, I have nothing to do with them, I disown them. And, that means whatever happens to them, if they're getting like in prison, whatnot, we are free. We don't have to, basically you took the risk and now you have to deal with it. So anyway, so with that in mind, if a Muslim is going to a country illegally, falsifying papers, or they sneak into the country through a border because they want to earn more money or whatever, then this is also totally haram. You're breaking the laws of another country, and this is sinful. And, if Trump is going to deport all the illegal people who are there illegally, including Muslims, we Muslims would support that. Donald Trump is not going to deport U.S. citizens. Muslims who are U.S. citizens are not going to get deported. That's not what's happening here. So, we want people, and the reason why these laws exist, right, having legal immigration is because there's not enough resources to sustain all these illegal immigrants coming into the country, taking all the housing and the jobs. And there's a lot of them that could commit a crime. I mean, they committed a crime coming into the country illegally. Why wouldn't they commit more crimes in the country, right? So it's very important that people come in legally. And Donald Trump said he wants to increase legal immigration, which is a good thing. So the whole reason Biden was letting a lot of illegal immigrants into the country was because a lot of people he was losing support. He wanted to give citizenship to a lot of those illegal immigrants, just circumventing the whole democratic process. Like, if you're going to just bring in hundreds of thousands of people from another country and make them all U.S. citizens so that they can vote for you, is that really a benefit to the people that are already living there? No, this is corruption. So, and then, just looking at it from a U.S. citizen standpoint, economically, under Biden, inflation went up like crazy. The job market got destroyed. And we're sending hundreds of billions of dollars for conflicts that the people don't support. So Biden is completely corrupt. Kamala and Biden are the same, very corrupt. And I do believe Trump is a bit corrupt as well. But like I said, the better candidate, who's better for the Muslims? Which one is more of a warmonger? Which one was better for the economy and the Muslims in the country? Which one? It's not about who's better for the illegal immigrants, because they shouldn't be there. So Islamically, it was a clear choice. We had to punish Biden for his genocide on the Palestinians. So the best option was to not vote at all, or to vote for Donald Trump. I think I covered everything in this question. Trump also ended the Afghan war, right, with the Doha Agreement. People are giving Biden credit for that, but Trump is the one that signed that agreement and had the withdrawal date in May, and Biden extended it to September 11th because he wanted to make a show of it until they were forced out earlier. And another thing is, on the Democratic Party, we don't support a lot of their progressive policies, like the LGBT, feminism, all these things that they push, DEI. In Islam, we don't support that stuff. That automatically we don't align with their party. We align more with Republicans, I would say, not on everything. Obviously, there's a lot of Zionism in Republican Party, but on other issues, mostly on other issues, we align. We Muslims and them align. So, and I'm not saying we should always vote Republican or Democrat. We are impartial. We're independent voters, and we're going to vote for the candidate that is best for the Muslims. So if the Democratic Party wants our vote, they have to produce an anti-Zionist candidate, because 75% of the Democratic voter base supports ending assistance to Israel. So we need a candidate that supports the interests of the voters. Otherwise, why would I vote for them? I have no reason to vote for a Democrat. They're not a less warmongering party. They're Zionists. So those are things I would just add on. If you really want the Muslim vote, then you have to produce an anti-Zionist candidate. So that's pretty much it. Assalamu alaikum.